We have the direct experiences of the body moving with the breath, the air flowing through our nose, and we have the noticing of that and noticing, oh, my rhythm is a little off right now. And as I relax my belly, that's going to get better. I know it will. I've done it so many times. Well, our rhythm will get softer, smoother, longer. We have thoughts about our experiences, and then we have other kinds of thoughts. So if something is going on that's alarming, that we're worried about, we're not certain about, then our mind goes to that. So much of the nervous system and our survival system are automatic or autonomic. They happen on their own. And where our conscious mind and our higher level functioning comes in is that we notice and then we can respond using our intelligence and our adult knowledge as well as our primitive brain and the survival system. That's one of the things that opens up for us as we do these practices. We really get to know what is it that our patterns are, what goes on in our nervous system. And when our nervous system gets a little bit more vigilant than usual, or a lot more, what goes on then? It might be that our shoulders and neck get really tight. It might be that the inner critic comes in, or there's a lot of catastrophic thinking. We might be holding our breath. This is what happens when we're under stress or threat. And we can't really stop that from happening in the sense that the nervous system interprets threat. What we can do is notice much, much sooner than we might have before, and then take a more accurate reading of the level of threat. And one of the ways we do that is we notice what's going on in our mind, but we also notice what's going on in our nervous system. And as we relax our body and relax our breath, it signals our whole system that it's safe to relax our body and our breath. So when we bring our conscious mind to that, that's what's happening. And one thing we could notice is if I feel anxious or I feel stressed about something, is it a present moment threat or is it something coming from the past? So tune into your body and notice what's going on right now, the level of alarm. There might be very little, there might be a lot. Lots of times people wake up in the morning with a level of fear or anxiety. And it's not that we're worried that something physically is going to happen to us the moment we open our eyes. It's almost always related to some thoughts or to long standing patterns of fear or danger in our lives. It's a symptom of trauma. Right now, as you're tuning in, is there a threat, a current threat? And notice if it feels okay to breathe more deeply. If you take some deep breaths and it feels, whoa, that's not a good idea, then it would indicate that there's a higher level of threat right now. If you take a few deeper breaths and it feels like this is okay, maybe I was taking shallow breaths or holding my breath because of habit, but right now I can feel like it would be okay. It's pretty subtle. Just keep that awareness in your body and your mind. What does it feel like to you right now? Is it okay to take some deeper breath? And notice if there are parts of your body that are tight, or you could relax your forehead and eyebrows. Our body naturally wants to release more on the exhale. So go along with that as you're exhaling. Really let your eyebrows and forehead soften. Release any clenching through your teeth or jaw. Relax the hinges of your jaw. Back of your neck and shoulders. Noticing your chest and your stomach, your belly. So, what's happening right now as you're breathing more deeply and as you're looking and relaxing the body is that we're reassuring ourselves on a non thought level. We're using our mind as well, our thoughts, to notice if this feels okay. We're doing a deliberate practice with the breath. We're breathing more deeply, more continuous, smooth breath. Continue on the exhale, especially to really let go of any tightness or tension through your body, any energetic tightening. And notice the thoughts in your mind. Can you have your mind be at rest or is it restless? Kind of roaming around in the past or the future? Or would it settle in the present for a few more minutes? That settling is kind of one moment at a time. You could really tune into the back of your body, let the whole back body soften and settle. When we feel threatened, we often tighten through the back, the neck and shoulders, the middle of the upper back. But just like with the breath, if it was okay to take longer, smoother breaths, is it okay to let go of any remaining tension or bracing or contraction through the upper back? If there's no threat or very little threat right now, that would be okay. And each time you breathe out, let everything get softer and softer. And we know that when we relax a muscle that the blood can flow through more easily. The cells can receive the nutrients that they need. They can get rid of their waste. When the chest is relaxed, the heart isn't squeezed. The lungs have room when the diaphragm can operate properly. There's room to breathe. And when we relax and soften our body, that feeling the nutrients from the oxygen coming through the heart and lungs, it can really open up into the whole body in a way that it can't when we're tight. And notice every time you breathe out that the belly softens. Let your shoulders and upper back soften as well. And as you're relaxing your body and smoothing out your breath, you're paying attention to the mind. And notice if a thought comes in that causes you to tighten up again. You could deliberately do that as you're noticing your body and breath. You could introduce a thought about something you're worried about. Maybe all of this stress is making me sick. My poor body, I've been tight so long. How could it possibly be operating well? There might be something wrong with me. And notice that you could smooth out your breath if it got tight. It would be very natural for some tightening to come through your body, your forehead, your jaw, neck, and shoulders. If it happens in the chest and stomach, it's going to tighten up your breath. And notice what's going on in your mind now, especially when we introduce a worry. It might take a while to settle that back. Maybe you were off on a train of thought about it. But one of the big differences when we have some consistency and skill in these practices is that we notice, we're able to notice, maybe not right away, but much sooner than before. We know how to watch thoughts. We know the activity of thought and then the response in our body because we've seen it happen so many times. We've inquired into, do we trust our body? Is our body working in our best interests? And it always is. It's always working for our optimal health, although sometimes the working conditions are kind of hard. So that might be something that we really know, that our bodies aren't out to get us, that our bodies are trying to do the best they can. And we might have all kinds of old patterns and thoughts of anxious thinking, catastrophic thinking, all of that. That makes it really hard because it tightens us up. And now we also have this. We can come back into the body, let go of the thoughts in the mind. We can breathe. The truth is, we don't know what's going to happen. And when we don't know what's going to happen, our mind tries to figure it out. We settle on all kinds of different possibilities, but we don't usually think about the most optimal ones, not what really comes to mind, because the primitive brain is trying to always look for danger. When I was wondering what would happen in the hurricane, my thoughts would naturally go more to if my house is too damaged to live in, what would happen then? It wasn't really me visualizing driving up and having no damage at all. And in fact, that's exactly what happened. But I don't need to rehearse for that. So that's part of the function of the mind. It tries to look ahead and anticipate possible danger. And when we can stay present and mindful, then we can work kindly with that and not allow it to take over. Come back to our breath, come back to relaxing our shoulders for the 100th time. And feel that ease in our body as we start to soften. Everything works better. So, for a few more minutes, let's settle into stillness. Really notice what it feels like in your body to be still. And we don't have to be working with 100% stillness. That's not going to happen too often. Whatever stillness there is there, really put your attention on that. One thing that we do know for sure is that we can always do practice. We can always work with our breath, with our body, energy in our mind, thoughts. We can rely on that. That we can always work in a mindfulness way with kindness, patience, compassion, and that's always a blessing, no matter what it is that's going on in life. if we can be present with ourselves with kindness. Take a few more deep breaths. Notice your whole body from head to toes. And notice if there's some gratitude here for just your willingness to keep coming back to being present with yourself. For the clarity that that brings. And then when you're ready, open your eyes.